Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Starting from Scratch. So I believe last we left off, we were right here at the end of the 16th. We had just gotten to basically 200 plus or minus, which was my goal for that day. And we wanted to look at our game plan that we had originally created and iterate, right? Come up with a better one. Figure out things that we really need to work on. And at this level, where we're just, at that point in time, a below average player. And now we have finally reached our way all the way up to a regular below average player. It's going to be pretty easy to find really big stuff that we need to fix, and you'll see that here in just a second. You get to laugh with me. So, last time you see that we thought our offense, and again, this is a personal evaluation, so it's maybe not perfect, but it's better than not doing it at all. Offense was not great, defense was bad, and neutral was okay, right? I think Testament probably was carrying us a little bit there with their really good buttons and their great, fireball and lots of powerful neutral tools. But that does not change the fact that our neutral is pretty good with this character, as we thought it would be. And so neutral is probably the thing I was least concerned about improving immediately, because, again, kind of like in an RPG or any kind of leveling game, the stuff that you're really bad at is actually way easier to level up a little bit, and then your character is just better, right? But in this case, it's you leveling up, which is even cooler. Anyway, moving on. That's kind of the game that I play. But moving on, you'll see that play neutral hasn't really changed a lot, right? Figure out knockdown and stain setups in neutral. So I've done a little bit of that. Definitely the biggest game that I saw when I was watching some videos. So basically, at the end of this, I watched some videos, practiced a little bit out of the tower just to, against training mode dummies or against low-level computers, just to get it, just to get down some reps. I would not ever suggest practicing against the CPU dummies for any length of time, because they have, inhuman reaction time and lots of weird decision making that they do, that they make the computers easy by making them do stuff that you would never ever see a human do ever. But when you're just trying to hit somebody, and when you hit them you confirm into buttons, it's pretty solid, right? Because you don't know when you're going to hit them. You can't really get that out of a training mode dummy. So, yeah, play neutral has stayed the same. We've got a basic setup here, which is if I make them block and then I throw the fireball, there's kind of a rock, paper, scissors we can play with stain here, where if they stay in place after the fireball, then they have to basically guess if I'm going to send the crow at them, or if I'm going to hold down the button which sends the crow right above them at jump height, basically. So if they jump out of it the first time, then I'll usually send the crow at jump height, and if they don't, then we'll just keep throwing it at them until they do something different. And eventually they'll usually figure out some way to get out of it, Kai has Stun Dipper to go under it real fast, and those sorts of things. And then we start playing around those games. Maybe we'll throw 3 or 4 fireballs in a row before we go for a crow or something like that, or throw out an extra button or something and just fight for the space in front of us, because we know that they're just going to go for some crazy, whatever it is, Eclat or Stun Dipper, and if we just fight for the space in front of us, they'll just run into buttons. So this is basically the same, except my new plan is try to get stain on them in neutral and see how they react, see how they try to deal with it. And then when they have stain on them, see how they play. Do they play aggressive to try to hit you so that they get stain off? Do they play defensive? And again, if they're playing aggressive, we fight for the space in front of us. If they're playing defensive, we just walk them to the corner. That's fine. I don't care. If I don't get a hit with stain, but the benefit that I get is that you were passive enough that I walked you all the way to the corner because you were trying so hard not to get hit while stain was on you, cool. We're in a happy place right now, right? Neutral's way easier when you're boxed in the corner. Then our game plan, to be honest, this has not been our win con. This has not been our win con at all. It has mostly been just beating people again and again and again in neutral. And even when I get them in the corner, it's rarely ever am I running in for close slash pressure I am just throwing fireballs, getting succubi on the screen, you know, doing block strings into super so that they get locked down, that kind of thing. And it has rarely ever, and then you do a high-low mix-up, right? So it has rarely ever been this. I should probably throw more of this into the game, but I'm not concerned about that yet. So what I have done is gotten some basic combos. Occasionally I'll get a decent combo. Like if I hit with Stain, it's usually like run up 5k or run up close slash into 6H, a new button that I learned we have. And then on defense, like I said, when you're bad at something, it's really easy to figure out what you need to do to get better. So we're going to use FD a little bit more. When I was watching the good players, I learned how to do FD, so I figured out some basic stuff here. And I wanted you to see this because it's pretty funny. When I started playing these games, I started implementing... I played these games today, obviously. I started implementing the strategies a little bit, and you will see that just today I gained the achievement for successfully blocking an attack at least 100 times while in flawless defense. Look at how long I've been playing for. Look at how long I've been playing for. So this is why when people say, oh, I've been playing for like X number of hours and I don't feel like I get any better. Like, look at this. We blocked less things in we are at less than 1 FD block per hour. No. Alright. So this is why. You see how even if our game plan isn't perfect and we could probably have somebody tell us a much better one, just by having one at all, even if it's wrong, we can look at it and we can, by our own actions, see whether or not it's doing better or not. So obviously, FD is good, right? They keep on buffing this thing. You no longer are more minus when you're doing it. It uses less meter. I think does it work on like guard break stuff now? It still pushes people back even if they guard break. I think so. Either FD or instant block like actually interacts with those in some way, I think now. And you know, again, game knowledge, but not game knowledge that I'm particularly concerned about this second. So you can see how easy it's going to be to move this from a 3 to a 4, right? We just FD. People at this level are not going to know how to deal with that. We're just going to get out of pressure all the time, right? For free, pretty much, by FDing. This is going to be a 4 real fast. So, yeah. This is what's going on. And so the plan now is I'm going to go play some more games in Tower. I'm not going to be recording and playing at the same time, which was also probably hurting me a little bit. I'm just going to be playing the game I want to play, thinking about only these things. Try to get Stain, try to hit a combo if we get a decent setup or a counter hit, and use FD when we're on block, or when we're blocking on defense. And that's it. Those are that's my mental stack. That's plenty enough mental stack, including what's going on in the game and trying to learn matchups and figure out what our opponent's doing. That's it. We got one thing in each part of the game. So we have one single mental stack while we're on defense, one single mental stack while we're on offense, one single mental stack while we're in neutral, right? Get Stain, get combos on hit confirms, and use FD. That's it. So I'm just going to play some games. I'll then come back to them, and the next video is going to be us reviewing the games that we played in post. So that way we get to see how we're really playing when we play these games and figure out what to do. Because we're probably still, from what it looks like here, going to keep going up until like 1250 or 1300. So we haven't quite plateaued yet. But that's no reason not to stop iterating, right? So let's just check to see how it's doing. Maybe come up with some new ideas. Or maybe just decide that this is good for now and we need to just keep doing this and getting more familiar with it, which is probably the answer, because this is not a lot of games. So we're still dropping a lot of combos and making silly mistakes in neutral, 3 or 4 times in a row. Like the Kai has stun dippered us 4 times after our fireball now, and we have yet to challenge it, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're going to be doing that, and I hope to see you there.